handle the situation, head on a swivel, looking for situational awareness. And hopefully we never have to find ourselves in a situation where we have to defend ourselves.
Yeah.
Think about having an environmental scan switch so that when you're in public, ding, turn it on. Turn it on and legitimately picture a scanner, like some Terminator 2 shit. You're scanning, threat, neutralize. Think about actually having an environmental scan on. Notice the birds. Notice the breeze. Notice the ground. Notice. Just notice things. See what you can notice. And when you have your environmental scan on, you will become more aware. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It is another edition of the Budo Brothers podcast. You got Eric.
And Kyle.
I hope you've been aware of your surroundings because that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. If you've been watching our YouTube content, we've been constantly putting out weekly content with Kevin Goat.
Yes.
And one of the themes that I have noticed that is in a lot of his videos is really around situational awareness.
It's true. And I didn't realize how important it was till we started doing or practicing self-defense with him. Because the best way to defend yourself is to not get into the situation in the first place. And no matter what, there is always a combination of events that leads you into a place. And it could always be avoided in some way, shape, or form when you rewind the tape. And how do you practice situational awareness on a regular basis? Or are you situational aware?
I try to be. I try to have my environmental scan on at all times. Where am I? Who's here? What's going on over there? I just a scan. It's a scanner. Mm-hmm. It's literally like a beacon, bing, singing out pings. And if there's a weird signal that gets reflected back, all right, maybe I'm not going to go down that corner. I don't know if this is the right train to get on.
Yeah,
and that happens. Our reality is getting more. We're being put in more situations that are riskier than ever before. In terms of just the danger to the general public.
Right.
We're in a dangerous time right now.
Yeah. I find that there's two major things that prevent me from being situationally aware sometimes. And one, obviously, cell phone, right?
Yes.
You have all these notifications, things stealing your attention, and like you end up looking at it head down, walking, or you're on the train, or you're listening to this thing, or you're checking out the latest album on your phone or reading a thing on Twitter, and you're not watching what's going on around you, especially if you have like your Bose headset on that's noise canceling. Like
jamming.
You're in your own world. I actually saw a video of a girl walking on her phone and she literally got bumped by a train. Like she just got clipped by the back end. It like hit her backpack and like sent her flying. But she just missed all of the signals, the flashing lights,
ding,
everything.
Ding, 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 ding.
And just got bumped by a train.
Yeah. You have to be able to read the signals that your environment is giving you. The environment is always sending signals. It's just it's whether you're aware enough to receive those signals. And if you're distracted, walking, listening to your music, jamming on your phone, arguing over text, doing whatever the hell it is you're doing that's taking you out of the present moment, there is no way for you to receive those signals.
Your attention is something that's always trying to be achieved or stolen from you. There's an experiment. I can't remember who was the scientist that did it, but they have a whole bunch of people jumping around, passing a ball, and in the experiment, person in a gorilla suit walks in the center, beats their chest, and then walks out of the screen. And at the beginning of the experiment, they're like, count how many times the ball is passed. And they do that, and then everybody counts it. And then after they ask who saw the gorilla walk through, and I think it's like 70% of people or something
miss it,
don't see the gorilla.
I fell for it.
Yeah.
When I saw that first thing, it was like, oh, because I love a brain challenge. Like, those stupid mixing games where they put a coin in a cup. It's like, oh, fuck around, find out. I'm going to get this.
Yeah.
And I just love those like challenges. So when I saw that video, it's like, count how many times the ball gets passed. got any more brain busters? This is going to be easy. But sure enough, I'm locked on the ball. 1, 2, 3, oh, dribble, 4, 5, 6. I think we're at 8. And no, I did not see a man dressed in a gorilla suit beating his chest until after the fact. They replayed the tape, and I'm like, I literally didn't believe it. I'm like, fuck, I'm going to rewind this just to make sure I did. And sure enough, I completely didn't see it. It's the misdirection. Just like a magician will steal your attention so he can undo your watch or put a card in your back pocket without you knowing it.
Yeah.
Pickpockets.
Best criminals, right? Look one way while I'm doing something else in the behind the scenes, right? Like, that's how people get tricked. It's always what you don't see or you didn't expect.
Yes.
That's how you get taken advantage of.
And our attention is like a beam. If you're really focused, you're zeroing in, your attention gets concentrated into a single point. And guess what? If you're really focused and concentrated on that single point, you can't see outside that point. Mm-hmm. But if you relax your awareness and turn up the aperture so that it's wide, now you might not see all the fine details, but you'll notice someone coming out of the corner, right? And so it's that ability to control our focus while not being misdirected to observe the environment in which we live.
And the second thing I find that steals my focus, the first was the cell phones. The other thing is, like, if something in my mind is troubling me, like you got something on your mind and you're focusing on it, or you're focusing on a problem and you're trying to like play it out and figure it out, and you're not thinking, and a person could be talking to you like, oh yeah, like you're not really listening. I find that is a very easy way to get your attention stolen. Also, you could be in a room and completely somewhere else thinking about some type of problem or something that you have on your mind
easily. And what a beautiful example of how life can take us out of the present moment. And while we're playing these things that are looping in our head, I should have said this, or why did this happen, or I can't believe that, or there's no shortage of things to be outraged about, and have your brain go on loop. Guess what you're not doing while you're stuck in your thoughts? You're not living your life. You're not in the present moment. You're not extracting joy out of life.
I wonder how many people died from being distracted because they were thinking about COVID rather than COVID. 5 people got hit by cars because they were distracted thinking about it.
Yeah, no kidding. Seriously, though, I mean, it's a distraction.
Yeah.
It is a way that takes you out of... You take yourself out of the environment in which you're in. Mm-hmm. And that makes you a sitting duck. If you're not aware that the train is coming, you're going to get hit.
Mm-hmm. And some people have just a higher natural alertness and higher situation awareness, because everybody knows that person who has zero awareness and they're just in a room and you're like, man, I don't know how you made it this far in your life.
Yeah,
like, you know?
Clueless.
Yeah.
Can't read a room.
Yeah.
And, every once in a while, you're like, I got bad vibes. Let's get out of here. It's the energy is wrong. And to be able to pick up on that and respond to it, who knows? You can't split test life, so you can't understand, wow, maybe I got myself out of a dangerous situation. But all you do know is that you listened to your gut. There was a signal coming from the environment that was dishing off some bad vibes, and you caught them, and you said, let's get out of here. I don't like this place.
Totally.
And you avoided a situation.
I remember when we were in Vegas, we went to a liquor store, and there was some sketchy dude rolling around by the cars, just kind of checking things out. And you're like, I'm going to sit out here and just make sure that everything's okay. And then, like, I went in and grabbed the liquor, and then we came out. But, like, nothing happened, nothing transpired. But you got this gut feeling that, I should be present in this situation. Yes. Something here is telling me about, right. Yeah.
And I got that same thing. Just sketchy eyes over there. Hey, sketchy eyes over there is looking at our luggage.
Yeah. Totally. And then, we were rolling around with camera
cash
and a whole bunch of things that can't get jacked.
Multiple thousands of dollars worth of camera gear.
Yeah. Anybody who tries to rob Budo Brothers, remember, we don't martial arts.
Yeah. Exactly. But being able to listen to your gut and respond to it is, like you said, the easiest way to win a fight is to not get in one. And ideally, as martial artists, we never have to get into a fight. That's the goal. A true martial artist doesn't go looking for shit disturbing fights.
And the other thing that distracts you from your self-awareness is your ego.
Yes.
Right? Something happens and you got to show off or pipe up or be like a little bit of road rage, flipping the person the bird. Like, oh yeah, tough guy. How are you? What are you? And like that starts up, starts. And also you get sucker punched from the side because you're locked in an ego battle. And it's always the blind side. It's always the sucker punch. It's always the thing not expected, especially being a martial artist. Because like most martial artists who've trained their whole lives can handle themselves
and they know it.
In a regular conflict. Like especially if it's like rules and sparring and all that, you know the game. But like when you get caught off guard and somebody clips you or you get taken advantage of or it's a multiple attacker situation or you got no escape, that's where, your training can only take you so far.
Yeah. And one thing that I love about Kevin Goat's instruction is often he reverts to your best defense is to get out of there. Yeah. Run. Don't disengage, de-escalate. If you notice something wrong, get out of there.
Right.
Turn around, run.
Yeah. Don't get into a ground fight with this person and like, choke them out just so you could show off in front of everybody.
Yeah. Handle the situation, head on a swivel, looking for situational awareness. And hopefully we never have to find ourselves in a situation where we have to defend ourselves.
Yeah.
That is the hope. But it's like something that we hope never happens, but we take joy in learning the process of being able to protect ourselves and our loved ones, because that ability to defend that which you love is a very strong source of security. If you know that you can protect yourself, you know that you can protect your loved ones, there's a sense of security around that, around life, around your loved ones. Like, hey, you know what? I might lose, but guess what? I'll die swinging.
And it's a good thing to practice too, right? Like, just being aware and sharing that with your kids. Like, hey, when you get onto a train, make sure you know like where the exit is. Is it going to be on this side? Is it going to be on this side? If you see this type of person at the back, move away because they don't look of a right mind state. Like when I see a person on the train, especially, and they're just out to lunch,
or just
like, I don't understand the people that could just go and like stand right next to them on their phone and not even pay attention to them. Like in my mind, there's like, like, because you feel like they're on a substance that is controlling them rather than they're controlling it. Right?
And they're unpredictable.
Yes.
And Lord knows what they're smoking.
Or thinking,
But the drug abuse that's going on right now is real. And it's affecting societies everywhere. And it does make life more dangerous.
Yeah. And too, like, people carry weapons. Like, being aware of when a person's reaching for their pockets or doing certain types of things. Like, there's so many little minute details, like 6-foot gap, making sure that you have your space. And then you have the flip side of the equation too, where you can't be ultra paranoid.
No.
Right?
Then you're not. Then by
you're
the
not participating in society.
You're not enjoying life if all you're doing is wondering when you're going to be attacked.
Right.
Like, that is, you're so hyper focused on that you forget to actually enjoy life.
Totally. If you're that person, you can't wait for the metaverse.
Give me the metaverse.
I could just. You mean I don't have to leave my house? I could do everything in the metaverse. Yeah, man. But it's so true. And sometimes we have this imagination that self-defense is all of these moves and these skills and being able to fight multiple people and disarm knives and a lot of self-defense is designed for somebody with minimal training to no training, because those are the people that generally get into a situation where somebody wants to take advantage of them. You could see when a person could carry themselves. So there's
I'm not messing with that person.
They walk with a confidence. Yeah. They have a little bit more pep in their step.
It's repellent to attackers.
But, you know, for the people who maybe aren't trained, like that's where self-defense, that's where situational awareness, that's where like learning to get away, escape, not get taken down. Like it's simple stuff that saves your life in those situations. It's not being able to throw a 6-piece combo, then take the guy to the ground and do a whole bunch of craziness. Like that's not what this self-defense is built for.
And getting used to that real pressure. That's one thing I really enjoy about training with Kevin in the self-defense classes is we get to pressure test things. You know, turn up the heat.
Yeah.
Now it's not a resisting opponent. And guess what? He's got gloves on and he's going to be punching you because you're in mount and this guy is going to ground and pound you. And have fun. See if you can escape. See if what we've been working on all class actually works when someone wants to hit you.
See how that nice sweep was working.
And I appreciate it because it's like, whoa, it's a different game when you're drilling and okay, here, sweep, boom, whoa, it works. Amazing. Now it's like, okay, don't let that attacker on the top. Your objective is to not let them sweep you. Attacker on the bottom or defender on the bottom. Your objective is to sweep them. Go. Totally. So you both have your own objectives, and it's actually this chess game that is happening in real time, which is really good to get you comfortable to that chaotic situation where you have to be able to be calm to think about where you're at and where the body is, where you can move and what you have to do and what's not working.
And it's in a controlled space where you're not going to get hurt.
Yes.
Right?
Real value in that.
Yes, definitely. And there also is value too in the very minute, artistic, repetitive things as well. But I find outside of working like your flinch responses and those types of things, all of those elaborate combinations and patterns, like when you pressure test it, it's very hard to remember anything past like a few basic things, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, unless you've been doing it that specific sequence so long, but there's so many elements and body sizes and body types and this and lengths and timings and distance that it's so hard to replicate anything consistently, right? And you have to almost just make it up on the fly and adapt.
So for someone that might not be situationally aware, what can they do to work on it?
First thing is the phone. Like, I can guarantee everybody has a moment in their journey throughout the day where they're locked into the phone, even if it's while you're in your car texting. Like, you know, like there's a moment in time where you're glued into this attention stealing device versus paying attention to your surroundings, right? I think that is a big element that everybody can instantly focus on. And, you know, put the phone away when you're in situations so you can make an analysis, because like you said, it's a gut feeling.
Yeah.
You can't
Read it.
You can't be like, if one light is off in this alley, then don't enter.
Right.
Like, you just have the instinct. It's instinctual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Budo Brothers Challenge.
Budo Brothers Challenge. Watch all of our self-defense videos on YouTube and get some more information about self-defense. And if you are a stone cold self-defense killer, keep a tally of how many times that you have your phone out when you shouldn't.
Nice. And we've talked a lot about training with Kevin Goat and the self-defense that we've been learning from him. We shot an incredible digital seminar that is his full training curriculum. Yes. And for anyone who made it to the end of this podcast, use promo code BBPodcast, 20% off the course. That's BBPodcast. Get 20% off. Last challenge I'm going to issue on top of your Budo Brothers Challenge is to literally think about having an environmental scan switch so that when you're in public, ding, turn it on and legitimately picture a scanner, like some Terminator 2 shit. You're scanning, threat, neutralize, think about actually having an environmental scan on. Notice the birds, notice the breeze, notice the ground, notice, just notice things. See what you can notice. And when you have your environmental scan on, you will become more aware.
Dope. Like that.
Until next week.
See you later.